All right, there was a post this morning on Chief Talk about doing these roofs with two pitches, and I'm going to do a quick video on doing that. So I'm in X14, and I want to point out that under the Build Roof dialog, you can click on Roof Styles, and then you've got all these different styles of roofs, and this Gullwing roof is what we want to do. And if you click that, it opens Help, and it tells you how to do it. Now you can do that with any of these roofs. It talks about dormers. So that's always a good place to start when you're doing roofs. So I've got auto rebuild on. My pitch is 6. Everything else is just defaults, overhangs. I'm not going to worry about trusses or anything. And that's what we've got. I've just got a couple of oddball shaped buildings here. And when I'm working on roofs, I like to use technical illustration, and then I turn off all the patterns. I've got a toggle right here on the toolbar that turns off patterns, and then I turn off ridge caps, so you just get a nice clean view of the roof. Nice, crisp, easy to understand, uncluttered view. I've also got a roofs layer set. Since I just upgraded to X14, I haven't imported my older layer sets, but I've got a roofs layer set that I also typically use when I'm working on roofs that reduces the impact of other stuff. It lightens up the walls and eliminates furniture and cabinets and all that kind of stuff, just so you can work on making it easier to work on roofs. So I'm going to work over here in 3D so we can just watch it happen. So I'm going to go in here. This first part is going to be a little bit of a rant. This is so typical, unfortunately, of the way Chief does things. They create this tool, they give you this upper pitch option. I'm going to make this 16. And then down here they give you two ways to set things. Starts at height and end from baseline. And if you set this to 0, it doesn't work. It creates this creates the roof, just, creates a dual pitch roof, but it doesn't put the brake. It doesn't put the brake at 0. Let's see if 3/8 does it. Nope, 3/8 doesn't work either. But a 1/2 inch works. At least I thought a 1/2 inch worked. Okay, 3/4 of an inch works. That may depend on pitch. But the problem is that if you want this break outside, if you want that break out here somewhere and not, above the wall or inside this wall, you can't do it with this tool. I mean, I can't believe that you can't do a negative right here. That just makes no sense to me at all. And from baseline, you should be able to put a negative and put that outside the wall and not anywhere, you know. But anyway, so I'm going to say this is make it 12. And you can see when I put in 12 there, that starts at height automatically changes. It automatically figures that out. When you say OK, it builds it like that. So what you can do is once you've figured out what you want and how you want it to look and everything, this wall has those settings in it. So what you can do is you can set your default to that wall, and then we'll just draw something else over here. And then you can see from here, and you can see from here that now all your roofs, because you put the wall put the roof settings in the wall, and then you drew all your walls, then the settings all followed that. So if you're drawing an all hip roof house, that's really an easy way to do it. You just start off with the wall, with the roof like you want it, and everything works good. If you're doing a gable roofed house, I'm going to hold Alt. I selected those two walls, and I'm holding Alt. Come around here and select this. Select that. I think let's try that again. Select that. Select that. Select that. I'm going to hold Alt. Spin around. Select that and that. Open those. I don't want an upper pitch. I want those to be gable walls. Say OK. So it just sort of depends on the look you want. Get rid of those pork chops. Alright, so I'm going to undo a couple of times. Now let's say you want this break. Let's say you want this this roof plane here to end out here someplace and not above the wall or inside the wall. Let's say you want it to end out here. One thing you can do is you can go to Build Roofs. You can click Make Roof Baseline Polylines. Auto Rebuild Roofs and say OK. And so that created a baseline polyline, and I'm going to see if I can select that in here. And that's it. And so I'm going to hold C on the keyboard, and I'm just going to drag that roof baseline polyline out. Now this is not very realistic. You'd need to do a couple of other things, but let's look at what that did. So now you can see that that break is outside the wall. can make your overhang smaller. Alright, I'm going to turn off auto rebuild. And let's go over here. I'll delete all these. And you can go to Edit, Delete Objects, Roof Baseline Polylines. And that'll get rid of those. But your roofs will stay right where they were. Alright, over here. I'm going to draw a roof plane. And I'm not going to try to I'd normally do this with dimensions. So there's a couple little roof planes. Then I'm going to go over to the Build Roof dialog. I'm going to change the pitch. Let's make it 16. And I'm going to come over here, and there's no need to measure or open anything. The roof tool will snap to other roof planes. And here we'll just make that -6, and we'll make this -6. Those will snap. And if we look at that over here, you'll see how clean that is. There's no the other thing working in like vector view or technical illustration is that you'll see any misalignments. If this roof plane was not aligned with this roof plane, you'd see a line up here, just like you'd see a line up here if these two weren't aligned here at the end. Alright, so this is kind of rambling. I didn't really have a problem to solve because the post at Chief Talk really didn't talk about a specific problem. They just said they were having trouble doing this, so maybe this will be helpful. Another thing you can always do, something I do frequently as needed, select the exterior room and create a room polyline. And then you can resize it like that. I don't know if I've ever done this, so we're going to experiment. I'm going to select those two roof planes. I'm going to copy them in place, and then I'm going to point them from right there to right there. And so that should put them in the same spot. So I'm gonna see if we can't reflect around, find the center. Again, when you select the edge like this, you can click on that dimension, do a -6, -6. These need to be fixed, but once you get the first set of roof planes done, it's pretty easy to copy and move around if you don't want to just redraw. When you have a polyline, I'll delete those roof planes. When you've drawn a polyline like this, and that's where you want your roof plane to end up, it's also pretty quick just to come over here, and you'll see that that snaps real easy to that line. So you can go around and draw your roof planes. Just be sure that you come up here to build roof. See, I just drew those two. I just drew were with a pitch of 16. So before you start drawing your roof planes, come up here and change this to whatever you want the lower ones to be. You can see those are steep. You could just open them and change them, but to me it makes more sense to draw all the lower pitched ones and then come over here and change this and draw the higher pitched ones.